Right, welcome to the new one. Welcome to Focus42. I've got a tendency to try and change everything all at once. I don't do things in half measures. I try and bite off as much of the cherry as I can possibly chew. Now, for most people, including me, that's not a good habit to have by any stretch of the imagination. When you try and change everything all at once, you try and get your training perfect, nutrition perfect, lifestyle perfect. When you try and do everything all at once, all it leads to is just overwhelm. That feeling of being overwhelmed, that feeling of like, what's the point? If I'm not being completely perfect, then I'm not doing anything right. And that feeling is not a good one. And it's something that I'm very susceptible to. That feeling of not feeling like I'm good enough, not feeling like what I'm doing is perfect enough, which means that what's the point in doing it? And it's something I'm trying to get away from. So after I finished my ultra marathon, I sat down and I said to myself, what is it that I'm actually doing here? I had maybe like 2 weeks or so where all I could think about was making everything perfect again, making the plan perfect, making my training perfect, nutrition perfect. Anything less than that is not good enough. And I sat down and I thought to myself, like, why am I doing that? Why am I putting myself through this level of sort of like pressure, this level of sort of like strive for perfection when it doesn't need to be that? It needs to have, a serious amount of effort put in there. But why am I getting so focused on like the little things that don't really matter? One thing that always comes up for me, something that I always sort of think about is the way that I look. The way that I look, sort of like what my body weight is, my sort of level of body fat. And I can be really, really critical of myself. I can be really harsh on myself. And I can get into this sort of mindset where I'm constantly weighing myself. I'm constantly stepping on the scales and going, right, okay, is that going up or down? And it doesn't need to be. It's easier said than done for me to say, no, it doesn't need to be done. But I wanted to prove to myself and I wanted to prove to everyone else that when you shift the focus to training for performance, working on specific metrics that we're working towards, it's enjoyable. And when you enjoy your training, you start to feel your body better. You start to enjoy it a little bit more. And I cannot stress how important that for me and for all of my clients and the lads that I've worked with, that running and lifting or some form of conditioning alongside your strength work is far more enjoyable. If you played football when you was younger, that might be something that you're missing. That conditioning element to things, that feeling of pushing yourself, that feeling of working on things that isn't just based around the way that your physique is, the way that your body looks. It's important. And when you start to switch that from being a type of training where we're constantly thinking about the way you look, you're thinking about chasing a goal which is purely based around the way that you perceive yourself. It's not based in, like, say, any measurable metrics. We're not looking at like what is the KPIs that we're working towards. So the things that we're tracking over an 8-week period, over a 6-week period, are they moving in the right direction? For me, it was just like, in 6 months time, I want to be a bit leaner and I want to have a bigger chest. And that never really, I never connected with that. I never enjoyed that. And because of that, I never really made any meaningful progress in it. Don't get me wrong, I got bigger, I got leaner, but it was never really that enjoyable. And then switching to performance-based training from a conditioning point of view, from a running point of view, with big running goals over the next year, but trying to fix everything all at once, it's just not it. I've got some notes written down here for the questions that I'm going to ask myself. If you're wondering why I'm looking at the old diary, that sort of covers like, so essentially the thing that I want to cover in this is like, what actually is it? Well, over the next 6 weeks, over the next 42 days, I'm going to pick one thing from each category, from training, from lifestyle, from nutrition, and I'm going to focus on them. And that's the one thing that I want to change, rather than trying to change everything all at once, rather than trying to bite off more than I can chew, rather than forcing myself to try and do everything all at once. I want to pick one thing in each category. And over the next 6 weeks, I'm going to spend that time improving it. And I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. I'm going to be very, very transparent. The reason that I'm doing this, I'm documenting this process. I'm going to record a video every single day talking through the day by day, what it is that I'm doing, why it is that I'm doing it. The reason that I'm doing this, the reason why I'm running this documentation of it, is because in 6 weeks' time, I'm going to be running this to the public, to the people that follow me on Instagram, to the people that are on my email list, to the people that watch my TikTok, because I think that that tendency to try and do everything all at once, like, it's baked in a good idea. I understand why it is that we do it, because the idea is the quicker we do everything, the quicker we get everything sorted, the quicker we will get to our goal. But I truly believe it doesn't have to be like that. I believe that we can take our time with it and really put that conscious effort in there to make sure that we change over time. So I'm doing this to document it. I'm doing this to show that over a 6 weeks period, while focusing purely based on performance metrics, that our body will change, our body will adapt, we'll be happier, we'll be fitter, and that is exactly why I'm doing it. So how does it work? Over the next 6 weeks, like I said, I'm going to be documenting the entire process from literally day 1 all the way up to day 42. I'm going to basically speak about what I'm doing from a training point of view, from a nutrition point of view, and from a lifestyle point of view, and sort of documenting it so I can show what it's actually for. The purpose behind what I'm trying to build here is it's almost like it's like an accountability, like a consistency sprint. That 6 weeks of really, really focused effort to build that level of consistency back up that maybe you had when you was younger, when you played football, when you was doing a training style that you actually enjoyed, so it sort of felt a little bit more automatic. Doing it like this, we're removing that pressure of trying to fix everything all at once. I want to pick 3 things that I'm going to be focused on over the next 6 weeks, breaking it down into its very, very simplest form. And to be honest with you, just trying, just proving to like the lads that are out there that when you're in the mud, when you sat there thinking, oh my God, like, what am I going to do here? I've got no idea what I'm doing. I can't possibly think about trying to fix my nutrition. What am I going to eat? Trying to fix my training, right? What's the best training split? In reality, over this next 6 weeks, I want to prove that doing the very, very basics, focus on these little things that we can adapt, that we can change over time. If we can get better at them, if they can move in the right direction, then we're going to be making progress. When we're making progress, when we can see the visual changes, when we can see being happier, having more energy, like all these little things that start to add up, is it any wonder that once these 3 things over the 6 weeks are in a good, consistent place, is it any wonder that we have that springboard, we have that foundation, that level of, right, okay, what's next? What can we work on next? And I think that when we do that, it's going to give me a lot more proof. If I can prove that I can do it for myself, and I'm going to document literally the entire thing from day to day, like every single thing. You're going to see me sleep, eat, train, everything. I want to prove that it can be done by focusing on these things. And then, like I say, in 6 weeks' time, once I've got the full documentation, all of the data, I want to show people, and I want to give people an opportunity to go through this short 6 week sort of like sprint, this 6 week block, this 42 days of what's the one thing that we can get sorted here? What's the most bang for our buck thing that we can get sorted? And I think that this is the reason behind that. Again, like, I'm going to be very, again, transparent, very upfront and very honest. The reason that I'm doing this documentation from a business point of view is to show what it's like to work with me. Show what it's like to work with me over a 6 week period, over a shorter period. Because when I was looking for a coach when I was a little bit younger, like the market was very much filled with, you need to sign up for 6 months. You need to give yourself 6 months of time. And like the amount of like people that are scammers out there that just want to take your money, just want to literally, there you go, ChatGPT slaps on the arse and give you a program. And I understand I'm not in this to slag other people off and slag other people's businesses off, because that's not what this is. But the idea behind this is me documenting what it's like for me to do it, to then show you, okay, you can work with me on a slightly shorter basis to understand how we both work, see if it is for you, because it is a really big commitment to actually say to yourself, shit, I need to sort my head out here. I need to sort my training out. I need to be fitter. I want to be fitter. I want to be faster. I want to be stronger. And it's a way of me proving I'm not a dick, basically, that I know what I'm talking about, that I can get you these tangible results over this 6 week period. And then we can look further on can we do this over a longer period of time to ultimately get you where you want to be? Is it a half marathon? Is it a marathon? Is it training for your first high rocks? Like, whatever that specific thing is that means a lot to you, that's what I want to help you get to do. And it's the most rewarding job that I've ever had. It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had, because the thing, giving you a peek behind the curtain, the thing that I've always struggled with is backing myself to say, I can help you. I can help you get to where you want to be. Whether that's a lack of self-belief from my part, from not wanting to come across like, oh, he's being like salesy, like he's trying to get thingy. But when you think about it, is Nike bothered about advertising? Is Nike bothered about saying, here's your problem, you want a new pair of shoes, this is the solution? And ultimately, if you've not got that consistency in your training, if you're feeling a bit shit, and you know deep down that, right, okay, I need a little bit of a helping hand with that because I've tried it myself. I keep on restarting every single Monday. Is it any wonder that, okay, if I work with someone who knows what they're talking about, who can prove and has got the tangible results to go alongside it, you can't fail. And that's what it comes down to. The only way that you could possibly fail with working with me is not by putting the effort in. And that is it. I will never ever slag you off for whereabouts you are. I will never ever judge you for the habits that you've currently got. The only thing that I care about is you putting 100% effort in and being honest. That is the only thing that I will ever ask of you. What are the rules of Focus 42? So I want to keep things as simple as possible. I want to make it as simple because we want to avoid that level of overwhelm. We're not trying to change everything all at once. We're trying to focus on really, really specific things that we're working towards. So for me personally, over the next 42 days, the three metrics that I'm working towards from a training point of view, from a lifestyle point of view, and from a nutritional point of view are really, really simple. So I've got them written down on my phone because otherwise I will forget them if they're not on the top of my head. So in terms of like getting those into a good position, training, lifestyle, nutrition, when those three things start to move in the right direction, it becomes very much motivating. If you're seeing results, if you're seeing progress being made, if you're seeing, okay, I'm getting better at this over this 6-week period, then what can I do further on? Like I say, it gives us that springboard. So really, really simple. The rules for me in terms of training is going to be to complete 5 training sessions across the week. That's going to be 2 full body strength sessions and then 3 runs. That's going to be done over a 7-day period. Just making sure that they're done. Again, making sure that I'm enjoying them. Because ultimately, if we've got that level of enjoyment, we've got that level of buy-in, that level of intrinsic, right, okay, I'm bought in here because I can see the results that I'm getting. That level of consistency, because I have something specific to train for, your consistency becomes a lot higher. Like you think about it when you played football when you was younger, you didn't have to reason with yourself to go and train. You just did it. Like whether it was Thursday night, 5-a-side, you might have been tired from work. That excuse of being tired didn't really fly because you just went and did it anyway. So they're trying to bring that back, trying to bring that level of buy-in back where you actually enjoy your training deep down. Because when you enjoy it, guess what happens? You want to do it more. Therefore, you want to eat to feel better. Therefore, you fuel your body better. You feel good about yourself. You feel happy. When that happens, your body fat will start to reduce. You'll become leaner. You will have more energy. So is it any wonder that I want to, over this next 6-week period, over the 6-week period, over the 42 days, get that training into a consistent place. When that is there, guess what's going to happen? Consistency, lad. From a nutritional point of view, essentially what I want to do is the target that I'm aiming for is I told myself to eat to fuel my training sessions properly. That looks like around about 2,300 calories, eating mainly whole foods. There's going to be some meals out in there. There's going to be some meals that are, and I'm very much doing air quotes, off plan. The reason that I'm doing this, the reason that I am choosing around about 2,300, that's slightly under my maintenance. Realistically, my maintenance sits somewhere around about 2,600 calories. I'm going to see how that goes over the first couple of weeks and sort of go purely based off energy levels. But what I'm not going to be doing is jumping on the scale. I want to just prove to everyone out there that you don't need to be weighing yourself constantly. Don't get me wrong, seeing your body weight as a data point, absolutely perfect. The more data points that you can get over a 7-day period, if you weigh yourself every single day, divide that by 7, and then you get your average weight across the week. Doing that gives you a much more accurate reading about whereabouts you currently are than jumping on the scale and using that one data point. More data is always better. But sometimes I get into this headspace where all I can constantly think about is how much I'm weighing, which is not a good place to be in. So I'm trying to avoid that. And by doing that, by just not jumping on the scale, is something that I'm going to be putting into place over this next 6-week period. So I'm going to make sure that over this time that I continue to tick the boxes from a performance point of view. So making sure that I'm eating whole foods, a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, a lot of protein, like good amounts of fiber, and doing that is going to give me a much better indication of I'm going to be going off feel rather than body weight. I'm going to be going off the way that I look rather than jumping on the scale and then being disappointed when I've only lost 0.2 kilo. Because again, trying to do everything all at once as quick as you can, is it any wonder that when you do that, you become overwhelmed? That level of overwhelm leads to decision fatigue because you're constantly thinking about it, which then leads to you fucking it off. You end up sat in Greg's, nailing pasties, going to Lidl on the way home and eating loads of pastries and that. But like having that variable, that thing boxed is the thing that is going to fuel my body, which makes me feel better about myself. That's what we're aiming for over the next 6 weeks. It's very, very loose. Again, you'll see it's not very specific. I've not given myself a protein goal in there. I've got like a little one that I'm sort of shooting for, but as long as my total calories are fine, let's not try and do too much too soon. So the final thing that I'm aiming for is sticking to good, healthy habits daily. So that looks like 7+ hours sleep, hopefully more like 8, but 7+ hours sleep, reducing my screen time by around about 25%, and 30 minutes of reading every single day. Three things, 3 really simple things that I'm aiming for. In terms of like sleeping, I'm very good at that. I've got a really good sleep and wake time, so that's not something that I don't think it needs a lot of work. The thing that I think out of all those that needs the most amount of work is the reduction in screen time. I spend so much of my time where I say it's for work, I say it's for research, I say it's for researching reels and social media and seeing what's current. But in reality, I probably am very much addicted to social media. I spend so much of my time on it that the amount of times that you probably feel this as well, where you open Instagram, oh shit, close it, and then you turn your phone off. The very first thing you do, maybe 2-3 seconds later, you just get stuck in that loop where you open it and close it again. So to do that, I have made a little bit of a change from until 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not allowed to touch my phone unless it's for like tracking a gym session, for example. It gets bricked using one of those little, I forgot it. Using one of these little like NFC chip things where basically you can scan it. As I sit back down, you can scan it, and it basically bricks your phone so you can't open specific apps. At pretty much all times of the day, like I'm trying to reduce the amount of time that I spend on my phone. I spend too much time on it, and like, obviously with running a business that's very much based in the online sphere, that's very much based on social media and reach and like metrics, I get so like day to day like staring like how many views have I got, how many likes have I got, who's commenting on it, and like to do that again as a peek behind the curtain, it's something that you have to do. It's something that you have to understand, that you have to develop relationships with people to prove to you out there that I'm not a scammer, prove that I know what I'm talking about. And to do that, I need to speak to people. And if you're constantly on social media, you're constantly seeing like negative things, you're constantly seeing things that you don't need to be seeing, like really, it becomes so addicting, and I spend too much of my time on it. Like my average screen time in a minute is around about 8 hours, which is ridiculous. But I'm gonna be honest, that needs to come down. That needs to come down massively. Another thing I'm going to be doing is no phone Sundays, where I'll pop something on my Instagram story on Sunday morning, make sure my post is done for the week, and then my phone is being switched off. Doing that, that's a 1 day a week where me and Megan have that time together to do nothing. Like there's nothing in the diary, there's nothing planned. We can just sort of exist and sort of like just chill with each other. We both work a lot, so making sure that we've got that time where we can actually spend a bit of time together, take a dog out for a walk, go out for a walk with our mates, like whatever it is, like there's just so much more to life than being sat on social media. And I'm aware of the irony of you watching this on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, but there's so much more that we can be doing with our lives than just focusing on what's in that little screen in front of us. I hate it. I hate social media. I hate how everything's black and white, everything's binary. You get told that you need to be more polarizing, you need to have like black and white opinions, and you need to say it's either good or it's shit. And I've always existed somewhere in the middle of that, where I can see where you're coming from. I can see the idea why you've had what you're thinking about, but blah blah blah. That doesn't get clicks, that doesn't get views, that doesn't get your metrics up. All that does is you just sit on the fence and you sort of don't be anywhere. So that's why I've been in this like almost this like juxtaposition the right word, this sort of like caught in this mindset between a rock and a hard place of, do I continue to be more me, to show up as myself, or do I purposefully go point at something that shit, my way of doing it so much better, when in reality I exist somewhere in the middle of like there's different things for different people. That doesn't get clicks, that doesn't get views, but yeah, social media, bad place to be. The third and final thing that I am shooting for in terms of this is 30 minutes of reading, mainly fiction books, to be honest with you. I find non-fiction at the best of times quite boring, and I've got like this lack of imagination basically, where I really can't picture things. So I'm trying to work on that, like by when I'm reading a book, for example, so a fiction book, I'm trying to picture the actual story. It helps me switch off at night as well, helping me switch off at night, which then sort of feeds into that of sleeping better. less social media, less screen time also feeds into the, excuse me, I'll keep that in, feeds into the like level of improving your sleep, because like when that screen time is less, you're spending less time on your phone, that's less like constant dopamine hits of scrolling. When that's lower, I find that I sleep better, I'm in a happier mood. That reading time is going to help me to switch off a little bit more, is the main thing that I'm looking for there. So that pretty much covers that. Really, really simple stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited to document everything again. I've sort of been lost with the content to post. I felt like I've been a little bit aimless. I feel like I've sort of been, I briefly mentioned it then, like I feel like I've been constantly looking what other people are doing and then going, right, okay, I need to do a version of that because that's working for them. In reality, like I want to be myself. I want to show up as me. I want to be true to who I am as a person, what I believe in, like what I don't believe in. And to do that, I need to be me. I need to document what I'm doing. So rather than trying to go out my way to, okay, I need to create something else, I can document, this is day 4 of Focus 42, and this is what I'm doing today. These are the boxes that I'm ticking. This is how I feel today. This didn't go too well yesterday. This is what I'm gonna do to make that better. I'm gonna try. No, I'm not. I'm gonna make sure that I have a video uploaded every single day for one of this. So this is day 1. As we sit here on, what date are we on? Let's go Monday, the 20th of July. As I sit here on Monday, the 20th of July, I'm committing to, for the next 42 days, to have one of these videos uploaded every single day. So day 1 all the way through to day 42. I'm going to touch on a few different things. Some of them will be a bit higher production. Some of them will just be walking, having a chat, speaking about what is on my mind at the minute. But I'm excited, and I want people to go through this with me. So this is why this is going up on a brand new channel, because I felt that it was just all over the gaff on my last one. I wanted a nice clean start, a fresh, clean slate to go, do you know what? I'm fucking buzzing. I know that like deep down that if I back myself, if I'm truly honest with myself, that I've got so much more potential to help more people and to have a bigger impact on the world. And it's hard to say it sometimes. It's hard to back yourself and believe in yourself. But unfortunately, the only person that's ever going to be able to change that is me. So this is my version of doing that. Let's go. 42 days, 3 rules. Let's go. I fucked the ending there, and I was too busy thinking about different things. We'll roll with it.